Last night, Minneapolis burned as protests broke out over the death of George Floyd, which quickly turned into riots, where opportunistic thugs began looting, setting fires, destroying businesses. Even low-income housing was burnt to the ground, and there's been one death as one business owner shot and killed an intruding looter. Riots coming from racial oppression from the police is certainly nothing new in America. I've covered the Baltimore riots, which came because of the death of a black man at the hands of a white cop. I've covered the Ferguson riots, which came because of the death of a black man at the hands of a white cop. Whether it's Mike Brown, Rakia Boyd, Aiyana Stanley Jones, Walter Scott, or Akai Gurley, each death just infuriates black communities even more. This is what happens after decades of oppression at the hands of the police. And in Minneapolis, there is a dark history there which has culminated into what we're seeing today that nobody's talking about. Until now. So in this video, I'm going to show you the truth about killer cops in Minnesota and why riots benefit the state. If you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please consider making a donation at the link on the screen or in the description below by becoming a PFT member or a PFT patron. Alright folks, strap in, because here's the facts. Of the 30 people that have been killed by police officers in Minneapolis since the year 2000, 10 of them were armed, 5 of them had bladed weapons, 4 of them were in vehicles, and 1 of them had a pellet gun. The other 10, now 11 with George Floyd, were unarmed when the police encountered them. About 63% of those who were killed by the police in Minneapolis, 19 people, were black people, whereas only 17%, or 5 people, were white. Yet the city is about 60% white and only 19% black, according to the census statistics. So the police have killed someone in Minneapolis, mostly black people, in all but 3 of the past 20 years, with 2007, 2011, and 2014 being the exceptions. People can only take so much, and like a ticking time bomb, they'll eventually explode. But how much of what happened last night is really about getting justice for George Floyd? Another black man murdered by a white cop has just served as the justification to vandalize and loot for many. Instead of making a broader statement about tyranny and authoritarianism in America. And now, not if but when another white cop kills an unarmed black man, the situation will play itself out again, only more intensely. Instead of getting to the core issue, the corporate state media is going to focus on the violent protesters instead of the militarization of the police. And as some pointed out in Minneapolis last night, it's quite possible that agent provocateurs were the ones causing the majority of the destruction. The now infamous man in a gas mask and umbrella caught causing destruction is believed to be an undercover cop. It's the classic problem, reaction, solution scenario being played out right before our eyes. We've all known the social breakdown of the United States has been a long time coming. You add in some strict lockdown measures and start destroying small and medium-sized businesses, and you've got a perfect recipe for disaster. The real problem here is unaccountable, violent cops who are often white, who shoot unarmed black people. Communities tend to respond with their gut and with their emotions, which is understandable. But it rarely leads to a rational conclusion where all parties can feel that justice has been served. Trump has called for the FBI to investigate the situation, and the mayor of Minneapolis has called for these police officers to be charged with murder, and they should. But until that happens, folks, things are only going to get worse moving forward. And I certainly wouldn't put it past some government agency to use agent provocateurs in order to agitate some legitimate protesters. I've documented agent provocateurs in Canada in my film about the police state titled Into the Fire, and I can tell you, having the unruly populace respond with violence is exactly the response that the state wants. The state is violence, ladies and gentlemen, so they know how to deal with it. It's actually peaceful protest and mockery and humor and non-compliance that the state actually feels threatened by, because there is no weapon in their arsenal that can possibly combat a critical mass of peaceful protesters who want to abolish their monopoly on policing services and end their relationship with the state. So the people of Minneapolis deserve justice for the death of George Floyd, and I certainly hope they get it. But the important takeaway of today's video, my friends, is that fighting with fire is only ever going to get you burned. If you agree, please click the thumbs up button and share this video if you found the information to be useful. And don't forget to check the links on the screen or in the description below to find out how you can support my efforts by either donating or joining as a member. So that's all for today, my friends. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.